Good day, grade 9 students. Welcome to our MAPE 9 class. I am Miss Nikki Anchesca Spaleta from Valenzuela City School of Mathematics and Science. In this third quarter of our Arts 9 class, we are going to study the arts of neoclassical and romantic periods. Our objectives for this lesson: first, understand the background and the differences between neoclassic and romantic period. Second, identify the distinct characteristics of arts during neoclassical and romantic period. Third, analyze the elements and principles of arts during the said periods. Before we start with our discussion, let's have first an activity entitled Guess the Period. In this activity, I am going to show you some pictures from romantic and neoclassical period, and then you're going to identify the period where it belongs. The departure of the volunteers. Romanticism. The apotheosis of Homer. Neoclassicism. Napoleon crossing the Alps. Neoclassicism. Charging Chasu. Romanticism. Liberty leading the people. Romanticism. Neoclassicism and Romanticism were the movements after the Rococo period that flourished across Western Europe and the United States, which spanned approximately from the late 18th to the 19th centuries. But what is Rococo period? It is an artistic period that emerged in France and spread throughout the world in the 17th and 18th centuries. It is characterized also by soft colors and curvy lines, depicts scenes of love, nature, amorous encounters, light-hearted entertainment, and youth. Let's go now to the Neoclassicism period. The word Neoclassicism comes from the Greek word neos, meaning new, and the Latin word classicus, which is similar in the English phrase first class. It is called Neoclassicism because it is the Western movement in decorative and visual art. It also applies to literature, theater, music, and architecture that were influenced by the classical art and culture of ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Romanticism was a period in which the neoclassical period sought to break new ground in the expression of emotion, both subtle and stormy. It embraced distinctive themes such as longing for history, supernatural elements, social injustices, and nature. Due to the people's romantic adoration of nature, landscape painting became popular during this period. Example of landscape painting during this Romanticism is the landscape of the Plowman. Let's talk about the characteristics of Neoclassicism and Romanticism. Let's go now to the characteristics of Neoclassicism. First, the portrayals of Roman history. Second, the formal composition. Third, the use of diagonals to show the peak of emotion or moment. Fourth, local color. Fifth, overall lighting. And sixth is the classic geostructure. Next are the characteristics of Romanticism. First, shows the height of action. Second, emotional extreme. Third, celebrated nature as out of control. Fourth, dramatic composition. And fifth, heightened sensation. Let's go now to the neoclassical painting. During this period, artists embraced the ideals of order and moderation, in which artistic interpretations of classic Greek and Roman were restored to realistic portrayals. During this period, painters also gave importance to costumes, settings, details of classic subject matter. In this period also, it is characterized by the use of straight lines, smooth paint surface, depiction of light, minimal use of color, and clear and crisp definition of form. The work of Jacques-Louis David became the epitome of neoclassical painting. Let's go now to the painting. An example painting here is the Napoleon crossing the Alps. It showed strongly idealized view of the real crossing that Napoleon and his army made across the Alps through the Great St. Bernard Pass in May 1800. In the background, curving lines are used to show the peaks and mountains of the Alps. These help give the historical setting of the piece, showing the area he is in. Another element that shows the location is the texture. The ground and rocks are shown to be rough and hard, showing the desolation and hardness of his location. Napoleon is the focus of this piece. This demonstrates the importance of Napoleon. Even the use of color helps to show this. All around Napoleon, we see the dull, dirty brown and gray of the earth around him. There is little to no bright color around him. This helps to show that little life can grow or exist on the very top of the Alps. A mixture of dark blue to show the darkness of the sky mixed with some white to help show snow, wind, and clouds helps to give the viewer a sense of the coldness of these mountains. The use of diagonals to show emotion or moment is also present in this painting. Let's go now to the sculpture of Neoclassical period. This period is one of the great ages of public sculpture. It is defined by its symmetry, life-size to monumental scale, and its serious subject matter. Let's analyze now the sculpture of Psyche awakened by Cupid's kiss. This is a marble sculpture portraying the relationship of Cupid and Psyche. Line is present in this artwork. The beautiful curls and lines define the hair, and the feathery details create the realistic wings of Cupid. The figures of Cupid and Psyche are positioned in a pyramid shape, which creates a stable form for the sculpture. Let's go now to the architecture. It started in the mid-18th century. It turned away from the Rococo period and the late Baroque. It was derived also from the architecture of classical Greek and Rome, and also the famous artist during this period, Andrea Palladio. The style from this period was derived from the classical Greek and Rome, and the architectural design of an Italian architect named Andrea Palladio. The architecture in this period is divided into three styles. First is the temple style, second is the Palladian style, and third is the classical block style. Let's go now to the temple style. The building design during temple style was based from the ancient temples. These buildings were uncommon during the Renaissance period, as architects during this period mainly focused on the classical elements of churches and modern buildings like palazzos and villas. In temple style, many buildings here feature a peristyle. Peristyle is a continuous line of columns on a building. Under temple style is Pantheon. Its design exemplified the neoclassical return to a strictly logical use of classical architectural elements. The interior is decorated with mosaics and paintings of scenes from French history. In terms of shape, form, and pattern, the building is cylindrical with a portico of large granite Corinthian columns. The structure itself is an important example of advanced Roman engineering. Its walls are made from brick-based concrete, an innovation widely used in Rome's major buildings and infrastructure. Andrea Palladio's style of villa construction was based on this Palladian style. Some of the buildings have balustrade, railing with vertical support along the edge of the roof. Balustrade is also known as balusters and spindles. The United States Capitol is among the most symbolically important and architecturally impressive buildings in the nation. This Capitol is divided into 5 levels. It is inspired by the use of ancient Greek and Roman designs of great public buildings. These styles are recognized by the use of tall columns, symmetrical shapes, triangular pediments, and dome roofs. Let's go now to the classical block style. The buildings in classical block style feature a rectangular or square plan, with a flat roof and exterior rich in classical details. Example is the Library of Saint Genevieve. It is still admired for the attractiveness and restraint of its decoration and for the sensitive use of exposed iron structural elements. It features a rectangular plan with 3 levels and a flat roof. Architecture gave focus only on the iron structure of the library. Let's go now to the Romanticism period. In Romanticism period, they gave more emphasis on emotion and feelings. Artists during this period expressed feelings and passion. Here are some famous landscape painting during the Romanticism period. First is the Church of Maricel. Second is the Le Reposo Saule. And the third one is Der Klein Fischer. An example painting during the Romanticism period is the Raft of the Medusa. It portrays the victims of a contemporary shipwreck. It is an over life-size painting that describes a terrifying and exhilarating moment following the aftermath of the wreck of the French naval frigate Medusa. You can see a pyramid formed by the positioning of the figures on the raft. This also contains asymmetrical balance, dominance, and the manipulation of hues. The artist uses asymmetrical balance to draw your attention to the raft and makes the background and right side of the painting darker. With color, he changed the intensities and values in order to create depth and meaning in the painting. Romantic sculpture can be divided into works that concern about the natural world and the human world. These two sculptors are very famous during this period. They are Rude and Berry. Example sculpture here is the Theseus slaying the Minotaur. This sculpture shows the Athenian hero Theseus killing the monster, and it shows the height of action. He killed the monster to save the lives of many Athenians. The way this piece is sculptured is truly amazing. The dimensions of the piece were overall about 45.7 times 29.2 centimeters, and the medium that was used is bronze. Let's go now to the Gothic Revival architecture. Gothic Revival, also known as Victorian Gothic or Neo-Gothic, many of Neo-Gothic buildings feature castellation, is an architectural movement that began in the late 1740s in England, in which the walls and towers were imitated from the medieval castles. Example of the architecture during the Romantic period are the Strawberry Hills in London and the Westminster Palace in London. An example architecture is the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Most of the windows and several other openings are surrounded by large pointed arches. This makes the greatest impact because of its height. It has also 3 spires. That's right. So we are done analyzing the elements and principles of some artworks during the Neoclassicism and Romantic periods. Let's now have the activity. Choose one artwork from the category painting, sculpture, and architecture in Neoclassical and Romantic period. Identify their elements and characteristics. Let's follow the table. Thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something from the Neoclassicism and Romantic period.